I love limited just because it changes. You know, every game's different, every deck is different, every draft is different.
It's fun. It's just like, it's different. That's the thing. Like, you know, you have been playing your mono red deck on Arena, your constructed deck over and over. That's fun too, but like sometimes you're deep into a format, like 2 months later, it's still the same format, you want to try something new. You could build a different deck, or you can try drafting, because in draft, it never gets old.
I love Limited because it's so much more diverse, hard, and creative than Constructed. In Limited, you never know what your opponent's going to have. The whole set is in play, aside from a few unplayables. There's tricks that they may or may not have. There's rares that may or may not show up. There's just so much going on in Limited that you have to anticipate and account for.
So Limited is definitely my favorite format. On my stream, I exclusively draft. I stream about 20 hours a week, so I'm always drafting then. And then if there's another format to prepare for, you know, when I can get some time away from the kids, I draft a lot there too. So I do draft a lot.
It just pays off to do the work, like, you know, not be lazy, like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, pick a card, pass a card, pick a card, you know. You just have to keep in mind a lot of things and remember a lot of things.
The number one skill for Limited draft is being able to switch gears. Sometimes you're gonna open a great green rare, you're gonna second pick a green common to go with it, but then you're not gonna see any more green and you need to switch to black red. In Limited, you've gotta be able to switch gears and adjust.
The first most important skill in Limited is combat. You have a lot of combat math and stuff in Limited, whereas in Constructed, it's not necessarily like that. You really need to understand combat and how each combat is going to go.
I think sideboarding is another big thing in Limited. Just like understand what the matchup is about, and then after sideboard, like don't present the deck with cards that are bad against your opponent. Like you don't want to draw blanks. You just want to draw cards where your opponent's like, oh, how do I beat that?
My greatest strength in Limited, I believe, is just drafting. I kind of understand the format well, and I understand what behaviors people will have in terms of drafting. So like I'll be able to get a lot of value wheeling a card that other people will just take out of their first pack because well, they're like, this card is better in my deck than this card, but I'm like, you're going to get both if you take both, and you're only going to get that one if you take one. So I get a lot of value doing stuff like that.
Oh, like knowing the format and doing all the work, that's just all the difference. That's just basically the difference between winning and losing. Like I can do 3 drafts and play the PT, but I'm not gonna know. Like you need to be in the situations before. Like I'm gonna be in a spot where like I need to realize like, hey, is this a racing situation? Should I stay back? All that stuff is super important. So the more you play, the more you're gonna be able to know what to do because you have been in that situation before.
So I think preparation matters a lot in Limited. I think you definitely want to do at least 20 or 30 drafts before you go into any tournament so that you're familiar with all the main concept cards and the ways they're going to interact.
The number one mistake I think people make when drafting is getting too attached to either a pick or a color. They'll open a blue rare and then they're just, I'm going to play that color, but the blue rare is maybe not worth doing that. There's some cards that if you open them, you should not budge because they're so powerful that you want to end up with in your deck because it's going to increase your win percentage. But there's others that are just kind of good and you can get away from them for an overall better deck.
The number one mistake Limited players make is overvaluing whatever actually ends the game. In reality, Magic, you win because of all the contributions made between all decisions and all cards played at all points in the game. So the last card played, the most powerful card played, or the card that actually ends the game is not the only reason you won. It's not the sole reason you won. It might not even have been one of the key reasons you won. It just looks that way because it's the last thing done or the most powerful thing done.
The biggest reason I would tell someone who's maybe transitioning from Constructed to draft to try it is you're going to get much better at Constructed playing draft. A lot of the skills translate very well. You're going to understand how cards line up better. You're going to learn new cards because in Constructed you tend to play with the same cards a lot. In Limited you'll learn some cards. So one of the rules I have is if a card is like the best card in a draft format, it usually ends up making its way into Constructed in some way. There's nothing more exciting than opening the first booster pack of a draft. It's my favorite thing to do. And I mean, I don't even need to play the games necessarily. The drafting part is my favorite by a lot.